Hey math lovers and haters, in today's video, I'll be going over finding resources in the math world. I'll be providing some complex number operations in the background because, finding resources can be a complex matter. What is a resource for math? A resource for math is anything that can help you on your aid in learning mathematics. Whether you're in the beginnings of algebra or in the dirty work of graduate school, resources are a vital tool in order to fully understand the material given to you in a math class. In the world of mathematics, there are two different types of resources. These resources are online and in-person resources. Online resources include anything that is purely an online form and is not available in an in-person basis. Websites, videos, and forums are three main components of online resources, and for lower level math, it is more than necessary to supplement material. When you're discussing algebra or geometry, an online resource shows enough to get the concept across. Fluff is not as big in online settings, so crucial steps might be skipped for higher level math concepts. Only forums are able to bridge the gap between online and higher level math because peers of equivalent skill levels can help each other out. In-person resources are anything related to tactile material and in-person settings that can be gathered for reading and discussing. These in-person resources include books, research papers, and talks with experts. While these resources are harder to come by when it comes to mathematics, it is vital for higher level work since online resources are shown to not be as reliable or available. For instance, my research paper on Brownian motion would not have been possible without books or lecture notes, since websites do not supply enough info on these topics for a longer paper. Now that we have our introductions to resources out of the way, what are some of my recommendations in finding and gaining knowledge from resources? Finding resources can be the most difficult challenge for people who are not accustomed to math. If you're in a lower math setting, then websites are your best bet for easy and quick access, but they might be difficult to understand. Wikipedia is an excellent example of a bad online resource for math, as some of the simpler articles can be extremely hard to read and they do not go over the points that people are struggling with. So I have some recommendations that might be good for both reference material and learning new concepts. Math is Fun, which is mathisfun.com, is one of the most comprehensive websites for all forms of school, even college level for non-math majors. When I need a quick reference for doing calculus operations, Math is Fun is able to provide me a quick glance at a concept that I might have forgotten about. If you need references with basic probability, geometry, algebra, or calculus, then Math is Fun is one of the best sites to do it with. Khan Academy is one site you might have heard of when you're later in your school career. For mathematics, it has some high school and college math material that is free to learn and use. Personally, I have used Khan Academy to go into differential equations just a little bit so I can understand where they come from, and while the amount of stuff in that section was not worth a semester of work, it has allowed me to get a little bit better with the fundamentals of differential equations. For YouTube channels, I have one solid recommendation that you might want to watch, and that is 3 Blue 1 Brown, no spaces. He discusses mathematical concepts like linear algebra, calculus, and differential equations in a visual manner, which really helps those who might not connect the dots with these topics. It's one of my favorite math channels, and it really puts my videos to shame by the sheer quality of them. And that's just some of my quick recommendations for online resources. Now we will go ahead and discuss finding in-person resources. For in-person resources, focus on material that does not teach the same as your current book and lecture first and foremost. Most authors write differently when writing their math texts, so if you find a text with a different author, go ahead and look into that book. Same thing with teachers and professors. Go to a different teacher or professor if you're struggling enough and your current teacher or professor's methods aren't jiving with you. Make sure to get recommendations from appropriate people for your best course of action for choosing the right book for supplemental material. For example, one class that I will be taking this semester will go over dynamical systems, and my professor has provided 2 books which will go over the fundamentals of the topic to supplement the lectures on the material, with one being more applicable to discrete systems, which is the focus of the class. Overall, with in-person references, I can't point you towards particular places, but if you have a college library or a good math teacher/professor, then they can point you towards the right place to check out a book. If you have found your resource to use, that's great. Now the big part of using this resource is to motivate yourself to spend possible free time to learn from it. Now, I'd garner that some of the people watching this are on the side of math haters than math lovers, so finding the right motivation to learn on your own might be tricky. You just have to realize that if you don't learn the material, it's going to reflect badly on your math grades. Math requires patience and practice, so with proper learning, you can get better with your struggles. One big thing I have seen is when people do their studying, basically not taking breaks in large sessions. Consider math like studying, where 45 minutes of pure studying is about what a person can handle 100% effectively. I know I've dealt with assignments that have lasted hours to complete, but when I didn't take breaks, I made mistakes. Mistakes are a part of learning math, so don't fret on them, but if you don't take breaks, then those mistakes are because of deprivation instead of learning the methods. Once you start, it's easier to get through, so make sure you don't disappear at the starting line. It's for your own benefit when you study, so try to make it as painless as possible. So, that's my quick video on resources. I did hope you enjoy. I'll be going back to college in a few days, so I won't have as much time to make dumb videos like this one, but I'll see if I can do some streams if you want to come and hang out, maybe ask math questions with some bits or something like that. I'll provide a link in the description to my Twitch, so you can go check it out. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you have a fantastic day.